Good evening. Time for our last video of the week. And today it's going to be over parallel and perpendicular lines. And there are no pre-copied notes that you need tonight. We're just going to be writing some notes in here and doing a few examples. So let's think about what we know about parallel lines. With your hands right now, I want you to make two parallel lines. Remember what parallel lines are? Parallel lines are lines that run in the same direction, and they are the same width apart the whole way across. You could make something like this. That's a parallel line. Also, these are parallel lines. Okay. And then the opposite of parallel lines are perpendicular lines. So let's see if you can make that with your hands. This is a perpendicular line. There's always an intersection where they cross. And at that intersection, there are four 90-degree angles. We have one 90 degree here, one 90 degree here, one 90 degree here, and one 90 degree here. See that? Okay? So, let's think about this. Parallel lines, let's write this down. Parallel lines have, when we're speaking of slope, they have the same slope. They have the same slope. Okay? Think about that. You have two lines like this. They're always running parallel. They might even be like this. But if they're truly parallel to one another, they have the same slope. Okay? And that means in our formula that we've been using, our friend y equals mx plus b, this is going to be the same. The m. Excuse me. So if you know that they're parallel, then the m is going to be the same. The same m. Okay? So if I were to ask you, what is the slope of a line parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 4? Well, if it's truly parallel, then it's going to have the same slope. So the slope will be negative 2 or negative 2 over 1, right? Same thing. That's going to be the slope of a line parallel to that. It could have a different y-intercept, but it is going to have the same slope. So if I were to ask you this question, what's the slope of a line parallel to, and I'm going to give you we're just going to jump in here and we're going to say 4x minus 3y equals 12. Well, we're not having this in y equals form yet, so we need to put this in y equals form. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to move this 4x to the other side. Right? That cancels that out. And we're going to divide by negative 3 on everything. When we do that, we get y equals 12 divided by negative 3, negative 4, plus 4 over 3x. Okay, so what is the slope of a line parallel? Parallel means the same slope to this equation, this line. It's the same thing. It's 4 over 3. Alright, next I want you to write the equation of a line parallel to 2x plus y equals 7. And the y-intercept is -3. Okay. So this is what we're working with here. We need to put that in y equals form. So 2x plus y equals 7. We can say subtract the 2x from both sides, and we get y equals 7 minus 2x. Okay, so this is the line we're going to get our slope from, because the line that the equation we're trying to write is parallel to this. So the slope of this line is -2, or -2/1. Okay, so we know in our new line that we're trying to do that's parallel to this line, they already know, they told us the line is, the y-intercept is -3. So let's just put the new slope for the parallel line. So we have y equals -2x minus 3. And we could tell that this line and this line are parallel because they have the same slope. Okay. Now, if I asked you to give me the line of an equation of a line parallel to this line, parallel, I'm going to use this as parallel. This means parallel. Parallel. Instead of that, it looks like an 11. Let's do this. Parallel. Okay. To y equals 2x plus 2. And it goes through the point of -1, 3. Well, this time I'm not giving you the y-intercept, but we know that we can use this point here, and we can find the y-intercept. How do we find the y-intercept? By plugging in the y and the x to this y equals form, or just y equals mx plus b, not this one, but y equals mx plus b, and we would get the y-intercept. So we have here, we know the m. The m is 2. Okay, we already know our slope because it's right here, 2x. So now we need to find our b. So we have our y is -1, and our x, that's our x. Our x is -1, and our y is 3. So we could say here, y equals 3 equals mx plus b. So 2x is -1 plus b. Okay, so 2 times -1 is a -2 plus b equals 3. We're going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of that -2. And we get 5 equals b. So our b is 5. Our b is not b, our b is 5. So now we can write that equation. Y equals 2x plus 5. This line is parallel to this line, and this line goes through this point. You with me? Alright, so let's talk about what perpendicular means. Perpendicular lines they have the opposite. They have the opposite, which is the reciprocal slopes. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. If I tell you that the slope for a perpendicular line is the original, the first line, the slope is 6, then the perpendicular line, which this means perpendicular, this symbol right here, upside down T, the slope of the perpendicular line would be -1/6. So we are putting a -1 on top. It's like the whole thing flipped. It's a fraction flipped with a negative sign. Okay? And if it was negative, it will be positive. So here, number 8, or another example, if your original slope is 1/2, then your perpendicular slope is -2/1. Okay? And then here, if your original slope is -3, what is a line perpendicular to -3? Think about it. Well, you know it's going to be 3/1. Is it negative or positive? It's going to be positive because it's the opposite. So we made these negative because they were positive, but on this one we're going to make it positive because this one was, the original was negative. So this is your perpendicular slope. It's just 3/1 or just 3. Okay? Oh, not 3/1. 1/3. You gotta switch it around. Okay? Alright, we'll talk more about this tomorrow in class. Have a good night.